Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? The New Orleans Saints are in their second week of OTAs, and the media will get an opportunity on Thursday to take their second peek at them. And naturally, a lot of conversation is going to be around the quarterback position. As a matter of fact, when Kellen Moore met with reporters last week, at the first week of OTAs, he was asked his thoughts on Tyler Shough just through the first three practices. Here's what he said.
Tyler did an excellent job. Anytime you're a rookie and you hop in there, and he got a healthy dose of reps, obviously, just like these other quarterbacks, and for him to, again, command, control, you know he understands the system inside and out, and so he did an excellent job.
I don't think that after three OTA practices, there's going to be a large enough sample size to make any type of wide-ranging proclamations. And from the media that were there that charted the reps, each quarterback, Shough, Rattler, had about 8 reps, about 8 passes. So there's just not a lot, right? There's not a lot of meat on the bone to be able to know and make these wide-ranging claims just yet. But Tyler Shough met with reporters, and he was talking about discussing rotating the reps. Remember, Jake Hayner's not there, and you did bring in Hunter Deckers from the former Iowa State quarterback who had to go the JUCO route after his being banned for sports betting. But right now, the rotating reps are Shough and Rattler, and Shough gave his impressions on rotating reps.
It's been good. I mean, it's part of it. You got to go in there and operate. You got a taste of that in minicamp. You got brand new faces. And the expectations, you got to go out there and perform, and I love it. And I think you just see the level of play here with Olave and Sheed and the kind of veteranness that we have at O-line. It's really, really cool to come in and operate. I feel a lot more prepared, being kind of an older rookie coming in, not being as nervous to develop those relationships, but knowing that's my whole job is to continue to earn my role and do everything I can.
The second part of that answer is what I find so interesting. And hat tip Kat Terrell, by the way. Kat's got a nice piece up at ESPN.com if you want to read it, just kind of about Tyler Shough and rotating the quarterback reps as of right now. And it's up at ESPN.com if you want to read it. And that was kind of the quote that highlighted the whole thing, being an older rookie, maybe not being as nervous to develop relationships. And that does make a little sense, right? I mean, Tyler Shough at 25 years old, will be 26 when the season starts. We know that he's married and has, he's just more stable in life. I mean, just think about where you were at 21 and where you were at 26. I mean, 4 years from 71 to 75 isn't really that discernible. 4 years from 21 to 25 is. You're talking about a massive life experience for most of us. If you graduate college, if you go to college, you graduate at 22. In 21, you're basically third year of college. 25, you're 3 years out of college, established in your career. You might own a home. You might be married. You might have a kid or kids. You might have bills and just completely different responsibilities. It's just a different life experience that 4 years can give you. So I do buy that. What I don't know necessarily is how translatable that experience is, that life experience is to the field. Will it make you more comfortable in a new setting? Sure. Like, let's just look at Tyler Shough, who was at Oregon and was at Texas Tech and was at Louisville. So, he played for 3 different schools. I mean, he lived in the Pacific Northwest and then lived in Texas and then lived in Kentucky. So he's moved around. He's in obviously a committed relationship. He's older. 7 years of college. He went the Van Wilder route or the Tommy Boy route, which may be a better reference. But that doesn't necessarily mean, while maybe you are more emotionally secure, stable, mature to handle the locker room and the changes that come along with being a rookie in OTAs and all that sort of stuff. I went back and I actually looked up today the oldest rookies ever to start in the NFL. It was interesting because there are some notable quarterbacks on the list. Like Chris Winkie, for example, you might remember went the pro baseball route, went to Florida State, and won a Heisman, then went into the NFL. Well, Chris Winkie was 28 years old whenever he started his NFL career. You might remember Brandon Weeden did the same thing. Brandon Weeden was a baseball player, went back to college, played at Oklahoma State, was the quarterback of that really good Oklahoma State team in 2011 that probably should have played LSU for the national championship if Bama didn't get the do-over they didn't deserve. Was 28 years old when he started his NFL career. Notably, Kurt Warner was 28 years old when he went from bagging groceries in the Arena League, then to the NFL. He was 28 years old when he was a rookie in the NFL. That's three guys who are all older than Tyler Shough is right now. And of those three, you have these pretty giant outlier in Kurt Warner, who became an MVP and a Pro Football Hall of Famer. But Chris Winkie played 5 years in the NFL and played in just 29 games over 5 years. Brandon Weeden also played 5 NFL seasons and played in 35 games over his 5 NFL seasons. So, all that to say, I don't know that we have any real large sample to suggest that being older is actually going to make you better on the field. By the way, Otis Douglas was the oldest rookie of all time. He was a 35-year-old with the Philadelphia Eagles. He filled in during World War II and became a rookie quarterback at 35 years old for the Eagles. So shout out to Otis Douglas. Really cool honor that he'll probably hold forever. But specifically, though, with Shough at this point, it's about going through this competition where he's going to have a leg up with Derek Carr's retirement. Kellen Moore came into New Orleans thinking he had Derek Carr and also Rattler Hayner. And they were doing so much due diligence on the quarterback room, even though he knew what he had in Rattler and Hayner. And if you want sort of a college comp, my feeling on Shough with Moore and that relationship there in the pecking order is a lot like I felt with LSU and Jaden Daniels when he came in from Arizona State. If you remember, like Brian Kelly took the job and Miles Brennan was here and Garrett Nussmeier was already here. And they recruited Walker Howard. And despite the fact that Miles Brennan was a fan favorite and had been around, they went into the transfer portal and got Jaden Daniels, who was a 3-year starter at Arizona State and was stylistically so very different from every other quarterback on the roster. And I sat here and I told you over and over again, the staff came here, looked at the room, and decided to go get a guy who had been starting for 3 years. That guy was going to start. I mean, some of you may not remember that, may choose to have selective memory, but most everybody wanted Miles Brennan to start. I was like, I don't know nothing about nothing, but they went and got that guy. He's their guy. Same thing with Kellen Moore. He takes the job with the Saints, thought you had Derek Carr. You're still doing your due diligence about your future prospects. You find out about Carr's injury. You've got Rattler and Hayner, quarterbacks that you've used draft picks on the last 2 years, and you still went out and used the 40th pick in the draft on a quarterback. That's your guy. So yes, for all of the very obvious circumstantial reasons, Tyler Shough is Kellen Moore's guy, and he's the guy that's going to ultimately win this job. And so they need to develop some synergies. But if age is the only thing that's maybe, if we're looking at age as a positive, I think it can be spun either way. The positive is certainly that he is a more mature guy. He's been around for a long time. Probably is not going to make a lot of the same mistakes that young people make fresh out of school when they get money for the first time. He's just a little more mature in that situation at 25, almost 26 years old and married. It's dramatically different than when you're 20, 21, getting money for the first time, maybe being away from home on your own for the first time. It's just a different reality. But he's got to come along quickly and be ready to roll week 1. And although it's only been 3 practices last week and now in the second week of OTAs, Tyler Shough did also talk about what he sees so far as the hallmark of Kellen Moore's offense.
There's going to be answers for almost everything that you're going to see. Whether they're finding different ways to scheme up runs or get into different passes or take loads off of certain people, the quarterback, the O-line. I think he does a really good job of complementing each position and allowing everybody to go out there and play fast while still giving you a toolbox. And that's, I think, where I've had the most success in my career is having that toolbox, but ultimately letting your talent go shine.
The one other part of this, of course, is while Tyler Shough is 25 years old, I have mentioned this, Spencer Rattler is almost a year to the day younger than Tyler Shough. So while Shough's 25, going to be 26 in September, Spencer Rattler is 24, going to be 25 in September. So he's an older player as well. 5 years in college and has already spent a year in the NFL, and he has a year of NFL experience, which Kellen Moore was asked, does that give him, Rattler, a leg up, being that he's been in the league for a year?
I think for Spencer's situation, anytime you get a chance to play, there's always value and lessons in that, no matter the circumstance. I thought, he handled himself well last year competing and navigating, potentially a few that were a little bit of a challenging situations. And then for any guy in general, your second off season is always a huge jump. I think that's historically everyone, references that as that second year jump for these guys, because the first year, there's a little bit of swimming, going into that. You go right from your college season right into that the draft process, which is a long process for these guys. And then we throw them right into football again. And so they've been through a lot. And so that second year, you find some rhythm, you find some continuity in yourself. You're able to kind of build your own off-season program. And so Spencer's doing an excellent job. As
excited as I am to see what Tyler Shough may look like, I'm equally as excited to see what Spencer Rattler may look like with a healthy offense around him, because he got dealt a bad hand. He was 0-6 last year, but it was a mash unit on the offensive line. He was without Taysom Hill. He was without Kamara at the end of the season. He was without Olave and Shaheed. I would like to see what Spencer Rattler looks like and functions like in an offense when he's got the full complement of a starting NFL offense. So that's the exciting part of the Saints season. It's not going to be what the win-loss record looks like. It's going to be watching these two guys fight to see if either one of them is your franchise's future. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.